we are lovers. We say yes to each other, yes to life, to more and more of life, to its brevity, to its grief, its disappointments, to its possibilities, its magnificence, its glory. We quarrel because we glimpse further possibilities, the nonsense, and wish to lay claim to it. We remember death, and that life is brief, and that the time for love is now and more is possible. One more step toward the holy. It is to love others as they are, warts and all, and to believe that more is possible, and to bespeak that wanting. It is to pray, give us this day our daily bread, and to know that we do not live by bread alone. It is to remember death and to love life and to accept them both as holy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to use my loud voice too. So today I wanted to share a story called What Will Little Bear Wear? And for some of us, it has been a long time since we've heard this story. It is cold. See the snow? I wish. See the snow come down? Little Bear said, Mother Bear, I am cold. I see snow. I want something to put on. So Mother Bear made something for Little Bear. See, she said, I have something for my little bear. Here it is. Put it on your head. Oh, said Little Bear, it is a hat. Hooray! Now I will not be cold. Little Bear went out to play. Here is Little Bear. Oh, said Mother Bear, do you want something? I am cold, said Little Bear. I want something to put on. So Mother Bear made something for Little Bear to put on. See, Little Bear, she said, I have something for my little bear. Put it on. Oh, said Little Bear, it is a coat. Hooray! Now I will not be cold. Little Bear went out to play. Here is Little Bear again. Oh, said Mother Bear, do you want something? I am cold, said Little Bear. I want something to put on. So Mother Bear made something. See, Little Bear, she said, here is something for my little bear. Now you cannot be cold. Put it on. Oh, said Little Bear, snow pants. Hooray! Now I will not be cold. Little Bear went out to play. Here is Little Bear again. Oh, said Mother Bear, what can you want now? I am cold, said Little Bear. I want something to put on. My little bear, said Mother Bear, you have a hat. You have a coat. You have snow pants. Do you want a fur coat too? Yes, said Little Bear, I want a fur coat too. Mother Bear took the hat, took the coat, and the snow pants. See, said Mother Bear, there is a fur coat. Hooray, said Little Bear. Now I will not be cold. And he was not cold. What do you think of that? I think this is a lovely story because it shows that Little Bear wants something very, very particular. He wants to go out and play in the snow, right? Just like we all want to gather together. It's a vision that we have. But we need something in order to do that. Mother Bear is so patient. She tries again and again and again. And Little Bear keeps asking questions. And finally he figures out he had what he needed all along. And I hope that's how it will be for us this year. We will try something and try again and maybe try again and find out that we have each other all along anyway.
So this is a time when we come together in mind, body, spirit to help one another, to support one another in both our joys and our needs, in our sorrows and in our celebrations. So starting, I think next week, we'll have the book, in the prayer notebook in our sanctuary. I'm going to use my preacher voice too. In our sanctuary, and that way, whatever you write down on the prayer notebook will go in the e-beacon. So not just on Sunday mornings we are sharing one another's pains and sorrows and supporting one another, but throughout the week as well. But for this morning, I will invite you to join me in an echo prayer. So there will be a point in the prayer, where I will say, may they be safe, may they be well, and I invite you to repeat that for a second time with me. May they be safe, may they be well. Yeah? Yeah. So let us find ourselves centered, fully present to what is. You're encouraged to be mindful of your physical body, aligning your spine to the best of your ability so the breath, the healing breath, can come in. And all that we need to exhale can find a way out so we can release it. Let us pray. Spirit of love and life, these are trying times, and sometimes we are at wit's end, trying to figure out what to do. We have all this extra time, and we are busier than we have ever been. We think we need to accomplish so much during this time of physical distancing, and we find ourselves exhausted beyond words. We are grateful we can work from home, and we are scared as well, beyond belief, as we don't know where our next paycheck is coming from. We are grateful for those who grow, transport, and stock the food on shelves for us. May they be safe, may they be well. And I invite you to repeat with me. May they be safe, may they be well. We are grateful for all the healthcare workers walking into the storm to keep us safe. We acknowledge the fear they must feel as one who cannot stay out of harm's way. May they be safe, may they be well. And I invite you to repeat with me. May they be safe, may they be well. We are grateful for all those who are helping to make masks and to shop for those who aren't able, for those contributing food to those in need, and for those who are distributing food and offering help to those in need. May they be safe, may they be well.
May they be safe, may they be well.
We ask a special blessing on all those that are deemed essential workers. We are grateful for their service. May they be safe, may they be well.
May they be safe, may they be well.
We are grateful for this community of love and connection. May this time remind us of how much we mean to one another. Thank you for this means to stay connected, for being able to see each other's face and hear each other's voice. May we be safe, may we be well.
May we be safe, may we be well.
May we be comforted and boiled up with love that permeates this community. May we be safe, may we be well.
May we be safe, may we be well.
So may it be. And let all who can say Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Our next song is Pure Imagination.
imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world, there's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with your imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be. You will find in your mind there's a world of endless fascination. No more fun place to be than in your imagination. You can dream any dream. You can savor every situation. Life in there's a sensational sensation. If you want to see magic lands, close your eyes and you will see one. Rather be a dreamer, be one. And each time please, and please say be one. There is no place to go to compare with your imagination. So go there to be free if you truly wish to be. Wish to be. Wish to be.
Good morning. I'm going to take us on a little bit of a journey, and I think it's a journey that some of us have been doing on our own, talking about the difficulty of the last 18 months, and then taking us to a point of imagination. I personally have been in a pretty dark place lately. I imagine many of you have. The lockdown of last year really took a toll on me, as I'm extremely social and somewhat antsy. We did manage a few getaways, but they were affected by COVID and fires. My normal work life changed too. No more business trips to meet customers and learn new technology. No more face-to-face team meetings were planned, or where we planned, aspired, and built relationships. I began to feel claustrophobic and trapped. Thanksgiving was a sad meal of just my husband and our 2 sons. I grumbled angrily after dinner. That was a lot of work for 4 people. Christmas was equally lonely, with the family tradition of opening presents done via Zoom. By early this year, I was starting to adjust to my new reality, and we focused on fulfilling a dream of ours, a dream we've had for 30 years, to buy property in Plumas County. After months of looking, we were in escrow on a 10-acre plot right near Gray Eagle, which is about an hour north of Truckee, if you don't know where that is. Oh, we were full of hope and had visions and fantasies of a small cabin, bringing friends to join us, even possibly building a future there after retirement. The Beckworth fire started, and it was scary, but it was not too near the property. But then the deal fell apart, as they do. I mean, not a big deal. We'd find something else. But then the Dixie fire hit. It felt like our place to go and our vision of a place to go in Plumas County was dead. Living in the mountains seems foolish now. In mid-June, as many of you remember, we were feeling like there was a light at the end of the tunnel of the COVID nightmare. In early July, we were focused on the future, our vision for a brighter day. It was starting to come into focus. Trips were planned, parties were held, masks were mostly tossed aside. And now, here we are. These dark days are tough. Plans we all had for the next month, the next year, 4 years in the future, suddenly seem no longer feasible. I've shifted my focus from those visions, away from far-off places, big concerts. I've shifted my focus to people, to those I love, and nurturing those I love. The people in this church and what SFUU stands for are things I love very much. Since I joined this church in 2007, I've had visions for what SFUU can be. I can remember some activities where we write down our dreams and visions for SFUU during forums with our previous ministers. I remember dreams of a congregation so large we would have to split the church and start another one down in Roseville or Rockland. As I pivoted myself away from the darkness, I'm cutting back on Rachel Maddow and spending more time with Brene Brown. Brene has a wonderful quote. There is no vision without vulnerability. That quote really speaks to me. In my personal life, I realize the difficulties of the last 18 months have made me afraid. And when you're afraid, you tend to close up, to hide your vulnerabilities. Or we become reluctant to dream because we're afraid of loss. We become reluctant to love because we're afraid of loss. What I'm doing now is I'm spending time thinking about all of you and about everyone in my wider circle. Two of the most enduring aspects of the human experience are hope and storytelling. Both play a powerful role in how we see our future. First, let's talk about some of the stories we tell ourselves about SFUU. I've heard so many lovely stories about our founders, about their vision for a congregation that cares for each other, the community, and the broader world. But I've also heard stories of struggle, of defeatism, of hopelessness. Here's what I know about this church. It's led and has long been led by a committed, loving group of people. It attracts people who are deeply concerned about the world and are looking for a way to help improve the world, to bring hope to people, to simply make the world more beautiful. It attracts families with intelligent, confident children who engage actively in their own education, who bring comfort and hope to the older people, and who are interested in engaging in their church and in their community. I also know that we are a small church with limited resources. I know that as a small church, we find ourselves often challenged as ministers inevitably move to larger congregations to expand both their careers and their retirement accounts. And that can be difficult for us, but it is our reality. And understanding that with an open heart and an open mind can help us with our vision of the future. If I close my eyes and I think about my dream for SFUU, I see a modern, efficient building. If you've ever had the opportunity to visit the UU Church in San Diego, that building is very similar to what I see in my mind. I see an amazing sanctuary overlooking the oak trees of Northern California. I see an open courtyard, perfect for gathering before or after service, surrounded by classrooms, offices, and a huge event space complete with a kitchen. What do you think of that? And while my eyes are closed, I see a lot more families. I see groups of 20-somethings congregating in the courtyard, planning where to go for brunch or what hike to take next Saturday. I see a lot of people. I see a church community that is brimming with programs, with social justice opportunities, with adult RE classes, with robust children and youth RE, and numerous social gatherings. Can you see it? I also see headlines. I see news stories about SFUU welcoming refugees, helping homeless people, gathering school supplies. I see our members reaching out to the LGBTQ community youth, the youth of LGBT community. I see our members working on immigration and voting rights issues. Most of this we have done or are doing, but in my vision, I see many more people involved, people of all ages. What do you see when you think of the future of SFUU? What does our building look like? Our ministerial team? Have you expanded your social justice work? Have you welcomed more families? Have you become part of a committee or a project? What do you see in the paper or online about our church? I want you to think about this as you take a walk this week, as you pull weeds. Start forming a vision for SFUU, one that takes us away from dark places and takes this church to a brighter future. How do we get from where we are today, with membership down, with the third minister in 5 years, to where we want the church to be? How do we increase the energy and visibility of the church in this community so that people know we're here and know that we are wonderful and they want to be part of this church? There's no easy answer, but I do feel like we're on the precipice of a new time, a bright future. First, we're coming back in person. We're feeling the energy and the love of friends and church family like we haven't in such a long time. We trust that each of us is doing everything they can to keep themselves and the community safe from COVID. Something like 98% of us are vaccinated. Most of us wear masks whenever we're indoors. Second, we have a new minister. Oh man, talk about energy, talk about positivity, talk about a smile. Reverend Alex is excited to be here, and they're excited to meet each and every one of us. They're already showing us love. They're already reaching out to the community. I believe their vision is for an influential liberal religious community right here in mostly red Placer County. A vision is an idea that sees a better way, that sees a way to help people, to change the way people do things. We know that people have a vision of a better future for themselves and their families. These visions can drive people across mean deserts and dangerous oceans. Visions are driven by hope and by faith and by action. Getting this church moving toward my vision, toward your vision, is going to take energy and commitment. Are you in?
But if there are things that have that power, let us remember them. Let's keep them up in the front, right? And I invite you to write it down. And it's not just some flimsy piece of paper. It's cardstock, right? So it's important. It's important paper. And some of you took quite a bit of time last Sunday and offered up, right? Vulnerably offered up the things that make you tick, place them in the altar. Some of you might have taken your card with you home, and I apologize that I never spoke about what to do with this, but mainly because that was part one, and this is part two of a 4-part exercise. So I want to invite you once again, especially if you were not here last Sunday, don't feel like you're left behind, or you don't have to even run, right? We're here with you, and we're going to continue to walk with each other. So take your time now and jot down what makes you tick spiritually. Or, if you're not feeling excited lately or for the last 18 months or 18 years, what is it, right, that is a stumbling stone on your path? Or a boulder that you can't get around or over? And after that, go into the action Amy is inviting us to engage in, collectively and individually. What is your vision? How does what makes you tick in your spiritual path connect with our collective spiritual path? A vision for our community. And if these questions don't make any sense to you, that's fine. Go wherever you're feeling led to. And as I encouraged last Sunday, I'll encourage again, it doesn't have to be in writing. Some of us are visual learners, and some of us express ourselves better with pictures or liturgical dance. And trust me, I was part of a church that pretty much every Sunday, this person would skip around the sanctuary because that's how this person felt connected. And so, there you go. Thank you, Logan. Show and tell. So, while we were blessed with Patty's gift of music, you're encouraged to write down what makes you tick, or what's in the way of you feeling excited again and, moving forward, and how that connects with our community of faith. Yeah? Want to try it? Or use this time for silent meditation. We have part 3 and part 4 coming next 2 weeks. So let us take this time in this liturgical action. Thank you, Patty. Now, if you feel you didn't have enough time, you have the whole week. And next Sunday. And the week after that. And that following Sunday. And feel free to have this card with you. You don't have to place it on the altar right now. You can put it in your purse, in your wallet. And indeed, I may seem to be joking about it, but I'm very serious. If you would be so kind and pull it out during the week and spend some time with it, reflecting. What makes you tick spiritually? and how that connects to this community of faith, to your faith family, your chosen family, right here. And please receive this reading titled Vision Personified by Kate Starr and Reverend Tamara Lieback. Vision lives in a 2-story house with lots of windows and glass doors that sits on a hill, overlooking the lights of the city on one side and a dark, undeveloped landscape on the other. Vision likes to be between what's already been accomplished and the stuff of possibility. Every night before bed, Vision kisses his wife Creation and goes outside to gaze at the stars. A retired astronomer, the vastness of the nighttime sky fills Vision with a sense of power and gratitude for the abundance of the universe. At the same time, the infinite can make him feel insignificant, a good practice, as he tends to have a rather large ego. During the day, Vision often joins Creation in her greenhouse. He loves to watch things grow. He uses a jeweler's loupe to examine the flowers in detail, taking him ever further down the rabbit hole to the galaxies within a single grain of pollen. To relax, Vision loves to fly fish. Tying his own flies teaches him patience. Being in nature keeps him grounded. He tried yoga, but found it difficult to hold the positions for very long, and too much focus in the guided meditations often made him astral project. Although in college, Vision was a diver on the swim team, these days he prefers to be carried along by the cool, green water of the river where he fishes, not far from his home. He still likes to dive deep below the surface, but now he also likes to go with the flow. Vision knows he wasn't a very good dad when his kids' hope and calling were small. Hope has abandonment issues, and his son will most likely repeat the mistakes with his own children if Colin continues to spend more time making plans than being where he is. Vision's eyesight isn't as good as it used to be, but he feels he has earned his bifocals as well as his gray hair. He finds he spends more time at home now reading, mostly historical fiction, creating little pieces of improvisational jazz on the piano, watching the cardinals through his binoculars, and categorizing his kaleidoscope collection. First by size, then by content, then shape. Sometimes, after dinner, Creation puts on old records and persuades Vision to dance. He knows he's not a very good dancer, but he makes her happy.
It is often said that the offering is the sacrament of the Free Church. That is to say, everything this congregation is and has is only what we bring to it.
deep gratitude for your generosity. Our closing hymn is Wake Now My Senses, and I believe that's coming through video, correct? Yes, so we're going to join one another. Feel free to hum. Singing, not encouraged, unfortunately, but humming and dancing, highly encouraged. Skipping has also joined the menu, so feel free to skip about, safely of course. And here's a benediction from Jalaluddin Rumi. O pure people who wander the world, amazed at the idols you see, what you're searching for out there. If you look within, you yourself are it. You yourself are it.
And as I extinguish our chalice, please join with me in our closing words. As we go forth, may we carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again.